Hormonal imbalances are the number one issue we see in our practice. And you probably know that hormones play a major role in your health and how you feel. Question is, what can you do to balance your hormones? Now, many people think hormones simply run on their own and there's nothing we can do to change them. And it is true that to some degree, hormones are self-driven and self-automated. But at the end of the day, the way hormones work in your body is primarily determined by factors you control. Today we're going to talk about one of the main drivers of hormonal balance, and that's our emotions and stress response. Have you ever had a time where your period was affected by stress? If not, you might know others who have. Hormonal cycling starts in the brain, first in an area called the hypothalamus, and then in the pituitary gland. This is where the signals are first sent to initiate hormonal cycles. From there, hormone-activating molecules travel through the bloodstream to target hormonal glands such as the ovaries, the thyroid, or the adrenal glands. And this is where the actual hormones themselves are produced. What happens in the brain is fundamental to our hormonal function and balance. If this part of the equation is not working correctly, the entire cycle is thrown off. In our practice, this is the single most common reason for hormonal imbalance. The second is the health of the gut, and I talk about that in another video. Now, there are many ways the brain-hormone connection can get thrown off, but let's take just one. Say you're experiencing anxiety. This stimulates signaling in the brain to increase something called cortisol. You've probably heard of cortisol. Some call it the stress hormone. What you may not know is that amongst a whole range of negative effects of cortisol, one of them is suppressing the early signaling in the brain that controls the production of sex hormones such as estrogen and progesterone. You heard that right. If you're experiencing anxiety and your cortisol surges, your brain will not allow the proper production of estrogen and progesterone. And this can lead to everything from menstrual issues and irregularities, perimenopausal and menopausal symptoms like fatigue, weight gain, and insomnia. On the other hand, positive emotions such as joy, trust, and connection have the opposite effect, increasing the brain's signaling to improve estrogen and progesterone production, amongst other things. So how do you know if emotions such as anxiety are throwing off your hormones? The problem for many of us is that we aren't even aware our emotional patterns and stress response are out of balance. Many times we use the word stress to describe external situations, like conflicts in relationships, demands at work, and financial concerns. But in fact, our emotions and stress response are an internal phenomenon. It's our response to the external circumstances, not the circumstances themselves, that causes the problem. Most of us were born with a certain type of stress response pattern, and so we just think of it as part of our personality. We aren't even aware that it doesn't have to be this way. Meanwhile, these emotional patterns are causing significant harm to our body, resulting in all kinds of issues, including hormonal imbalances. The great news is you can change these patterns and return your hormones to balance. There are specific techniques and lifestyle adjustments that can accomplish this. And this is one of the ways we help motivated women just like you regain your energy, focus, and hormonal balance.